What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Breaking news in Carolina. Breaking news in Carolina. Uh, Bryce Young, starting today, has been benched in favor of Andy Dalton. Um, we're waiting on Dave Canales to speak at like 2:30, but we don't know if this is temporary. We don't know if this is for the rest of the season. Um, we have no idea what the plan is right now. So I wanted to start, talking about it. I also wanted to tune in to Dave Canales' press conference. Um, and I want to know what happened to make this decision because Dave Canales was just in the press conference yesterday saying multiple times that Bryce Young was his quarterback. So, how do we go from Bryce Young is my quarterback, we're not making a change, to we're making a change a day later? I want to know was because I have my own theory. My theory is that uh, David Tepper, in his, as he usually says it, trying to win, has kind of um, forced this decision. We already know after the week one loss, David Tepper and Canales was already supposedly having meetings. Um, so I'm assuming after this loss and the way that our offense looked, especially at home, especially at home, that David Tepper has came in and told Canales that he has to bench Bryce Young. Because other than that, I don't understand it. Um, I don't understand it unless because it doesn't help our future. Andy Dalton's not the future, and I mean, unless you've already saw enough of, well, even if you feel like you saw enough of Bryce to know that you want to take somebody else next year, you would just let Bryce play so you can get a higher pick. Um, you wouldn't let Andy Dalton play because Andy Dalton, if in your head, if you think Bryce is truly bad, then you would think that Bryce is going to lose you more games than Andy Dalton will win. But I definitely think this is um, a David Tepper move to try to win. But that still doesn't even help us unless you think Andy Dalton can win this division. And the way Baker Mayfield is playing in Tampa Bay right now, and the way Derek Carr is looking for the Saints, you're not going to win the division anyway. So I really don't understand this. Maybe somebody will come in the comment section to help me out, to help me understand. Just wanting better quarterback plays, cool, but again, what's the point? And I already know how this gonna go. They're gonna run a completely different offense for Andy Dalton. They're gonna have Andy Dalton taking intermediate shots and deep shots. They're not gonna make Andy Dalton play check down Charlie all day. So Andy Dalton is gonna look better, but is he better? No. Um, but hopefully somebody will come in the comment section. Um, if not, then we'll just kind of be wait until 2:30 when Dave Canales come on to see what he's talking about. So from what I'm seeing, they're trying to claim that supposedly this move was decided by not Dave Tepper, but the big three of Dave Canales, Tillis, and Dan Morgan. But I don't believe that. Tepper could have told them to say that just because Tepper know we tired of him making decisions for the team. Because like I said, Canales was just stressing that Bryce was his quarterback yesterday, and starting Andy Dalton does nothing for this team. The only reason why you would, because even if Andy Dalton win you a couple more games, now you're gonna have your draft pick not gonna be as good, and you're gonna miss the playoffs. Like I don't understand it. Andy Dalton. Somebody said, "Oh well, maybe we want to be able to get free agents." No free agent is coming here because of Andy Dalton. So like I said, this is just stupid, stupid. Yeah, this is gonna be so stupid because I already know what's gonna happen. You're gonna change the offense for Bryce to look good, and when you do that, it's gonna make people think, "Oh my God, Bryce was the problem. Bryce was the problem." When really it's the offense. You're not gonna play check down offense with Andy Dalton. You're gonna take more shots. You're gonna actually throw it down the field. You're not gonna throw all these 5 yard passes. Somebody said winning 6 games is better than winning zero. Not really. You're picking seventh instead of picking first. That's the only difference. You're still gonna miss the playoffs.
the Panthers win. And so this move, I believe, puts us in the best chance to do that this week.
Dave, what were you seeing out of Bryce that wasn't working or
as we go into Las Vegas to play the Raiders, sitting Bryce down here, after yesterday, just went home, watched the film, had some conversations with coaches, with Dan Brandt. So had to gather a lot of information through this morning and made that decision after looking at it that this is the best decision for our group, for our team going forward.
Dave, how difficult is it to evaluate a roster when guys are not moving the ball down the field, not just on offense, but the entire product?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. We want to play more football. A lot of factors that go into it, for this decision, and ultimately just kind of lands on my shoulders to be able to make the best decision for our group, to give us our best chance to win this week. And we focus on the weeks. We focus on the challenge at hand, and we feel like Andy gives us our best chance to meet the challenge.
Tepper say in the past that he gets consulted on the big decisions.
Mm-hmm.
What was his role in this as you guys talked about?
He made the decision.
I want to keep that private.
He made the
what
decision.
I would like to say, though,
I want to keep it private.
This
He
is
made
something
the
after I watched the film, I looked at it, had a thought, started working on talking to the guys that we make decisions
He's
with.
lying.
Certainly a lot of parties involved there.
Lying.
And ultimately this comes on me, and my number one responsibility is to help the Panthers win. And so this move, I believe, puts us in the best chance to do that this week.
Dave, what were you seeing out of Bryce that wasn't working or that led you to this decision?
I don't want to get into the specifics of it. These are private conversations that we have, in our meetings, and the different things. It's a vulnerable state, and so I don't really want to get into too many of the specifics of it.
How much did David Tepper have a say in this? Did you talk to him before making the decision?
Again, I watched the film. I had a thought in mind. We all talked, and I had to make the best decision for the team.
Dave, you were brought here to be the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and part of your plan was to be the quarterback shepherd, essentially. How much of this, like you said, it falls on your shoulders, but how difficult of a decision was this for you and the start of your tenure here?
Yeah, I certainly take it personal, but this position that I'm in,
I'm over
this
this nigga
opportunity
farm.
that I get is about building a culture, is about building a football team that plays with a certain play style. And that's my main focus. And above all is to help the Panthers win. And so that's what this decision was about.
Dave, when did you inform Bryce and what was his reaction?
I talked to the quarterbacks both. I talked to Bryce and I talked to Andy. And then from there, I let the team know and kind of talked to each of the guys as I knew I didn't want them to find out the wrong way. So we had a chance, to connect with everyone, and the conversations will be private.
Dave, obviously the franchise invested a lot to go up and get Bryce last year. Do you view this as something that could be permanent throughout the rest of the season, or just kind of a break and see where he's at later?
Right now, we're focused on this week. We're focused on getting Andy ready to play the Raiders. And then we'll just take it like that. We'll attack the Raiders. We'll attack this week and get that mentality and the things that we're looking for. So,
Does Young still have the locker room?
Again, that's a loaded question right there. Our focus right now is just trying to make sure we fix the film from from yesterday, and then getting ready for the Raiders.
Did you speak with your leadership council before making this decision as well?
I did not.
You mentioned this sort of being a sensitive topic, and how did those discussions go when you're talking about the number one pick and what this could mean to his confidence and his career?
Yeah, it's a lot of those factors. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record. I owe it to all of the guys, the coaches, the staff, the players, everybody involved to be really critical about what we put on film, about what I'm seeing, and to make sure that I'm constantly making the best decision for the team every week.
Really critical of how Cashapp played.
It happens to be the quarterback position. And so it's loaded that way, but it's every position and it's all the guys. And I was able to stand in front of the team and challenge all the guys that we all have to step up our passion for what we're doing to play with the play style that we're looking for.
Just yesterday, you were adamant that Bryce was the guy. He was the starter. less than 24 hours later. How do you come to terms with mentally making that decision and then presenting it to him?
Yeah, that was rough, but I had to watch the film. And at the time that I spoke to you all, I hadn't watched the film, so I just went home. I watched the film. I gathered the information and made the best decision for the team.
I'm going to watch the film and make a
especially for the
decision on the
offense
quarterback.
of what's going to put us in our best place to be successful this week.
Adam kind of had a little bit after the sack by Bosa. Adam kind of had a moment on the sideline where he was pacing and kind of yelling, I guess. And he said that he went up and apologized to Bryce afterwards to let him know it wasn't about him. Deontay Johnson said that he wanted to uplift Bryce. When you see the veteran guys surround Bryce with that type of respect and I guess assurance, does that make the decision that much harder?
I expect the same support for Andy as we go into this week for the guys to, be supportive and every day just to approach it with that kind of energy.
Will Bryce be the number 2 this week?
Yes.
You'll be bringing another quarterback?
Not right now.
Do you plan on making any other adjustments to the roster?
Probably. I think it's every single week we're evaluating our roster. We're challenging all spots. We're looking to just be as competitive as possible. And that's the part that we owe, again, to everybody is to really continue to
Go find a pass
who
rusher.
we have out there who can help us.
Go find somebody to
The
stop the
overall
run.
offensive scheme changed a little bit with Dalton at the helm, or is he going in to implement what we all been trying to do?
He's going to
Yeah,
run
it's
his
going to be
own
our
scheme.
system. Yep.
Understanding
Cat.
that you don't want to get too deep into the weeds on the decision, but was there something kind of an overriding factor, even the nature in which you guys lost the first 2 games? Was there something really that drove this more than any other factor?
I'm not going to get into specifics of it, Joe. I just, after watching it and taking all the information, and we feel like Andy gives us our best chance to win.
Is 2 weeks a large enough sample size to make this type of decision?
Honestly, the focus right now for me is to make sure we're getting Andy ready to go. So I don't want to get into the whole amount of time and all that.
Did you take this job in part because of the opportunity to work with Bryce and what does it mean that now 2 weeks into it, that's not going to be a thing?
I took this job because it's a dream. It's a dream to be able to lead men, to face these kind of challenges, to make the decisions that give us our best chance to win. And so that's the heart and soul of this thing, So, and I'm still there pushing. I'm going to compete every single day just to continue to help our team take the next
See how
step.
you didn't take the job to work Bryce to get Bryce better?
I mean, is the Bryce failure, you think it's a failure on your part? How do you look at this?
I just have to gather information and I have to be very objective about what I'm looking at and where we can go as a team.
Be
And so we
objective
feel
at
like
your
Andy
play
gives us
callers,
our best
so.
chance going forward.
I know you don't want to get into the conversation with Brant and Dan, but how empowered did you feel to make this decision with the people that you made those decisions with?
This is my decision. This is our football team. This is trying to win on a weekly basis. And while it's my decision, I gather information from the people that are critical to making these kind of decisions. But this is something that I felt like gives us our chance to take a step forward. In our play style and to this is something that I felt like gives us our chance to take a step forward, our play style, and to be able to compete this week against a really good Raiders team.
Was it a hard decision for you to make?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every roster move we've made has.
Kraken client support. It's like soccer. Out there, you can't see and know everything, but I'm connected to experts who I can chat with whenever I need.
There's a hope that, maybe Bryce sits back, watches and learns, and then it pays off down the road just from learning. I know you said last week that it's nothing like game experience, but in some ways maybe is it better for him to take a step back and reassess and watch from and maybe learn that way.
I certainly hope he just shows up every day, works hard, focuses on his job, and continues to push himself.
I hope he says, "Fuck this team and trade me."
Decision you're gonna have to make, or is Andy the starter? Just
I don't want to get into timelines. I just know Andy gives us our best chance to win right now. His resume speaks for itself. You know, he's an experienced player. He's got a lot of football in his history. So I'm excited for Andy with this opportunity. And I believe he gives us our best chance to win this week.
Is he healthy? I know he had some stuff in preseason.
Andy Dalton's our quarterback right now. So going into this week, we feel great about him.
How do you think the offensive line has performed over the past 2 weeks when you watch that tape and you gather that information?
Yeah, I thought that we had growth in a lot of areas, offensive line from 1 week to the next, you know, just handling the protections, moving the line of scrimmage. I thought we established a new line of scrimmage. We had some great runs in the game, 65% run efficiency on the day, which was fantastic. We saw,
great run,
you know,
who
8
cares?
3rd and 5 or less. That's playing on schedule. That's a place where we got to be able to take advantage of. And the offensive line is a huge part of that, you know, so saw the guys working together. They got a bunch they got to clean up. As we still become our scheme and our concepts, there's still a lot of growth there, but definitely see the potential and the power inside.
As you go into practice, obviously focusing on Andy as the starter, how do you make sure Bryce doesn't get kind of thrown to the wayside in practice and lost in the weeds?
Yeah, Andy's going to get the pertinent reps for our practices. He's going to be in there with the first group. We're going to ask him to step in the huddle and continue to push the ball forward as we grow into the offense I think we can become.
How can Bryce?
A couple more.
How can Bryce respond in the best possible way to these circumstances?
Yeah, just the standard of NFL football is show up, work hard, be focused, be engaged, do your job, give everything you have every day, pursuing your best and growing.
Coach, 2 early calls went against the Panthers. Do you have any comment on Horn's forced fumble and Johnson's fair catch interference?
The officials are great. They came over to the sideline, kind of explained what they saw, explained the situation, explained that there was, you know, turnover plays get reviewed and all that. So it's like they had a lot of information. It was a fantastic crew of guys just coming over and kind of letting me know what was happening.
He's a pussy.
Told the quarterbacks this morning, Dave.
Yes.
Dave, any injuries we should know about coming on Sunday?
Shy had a foot deal. Do I speak specifically about it? So he's got a foot injury that we're evaluating right now. And then nothing else really that, you know, that came up of significant.
That's the last one.
What was that?
What's Andy bring that Bryce did?
I don't want to get into specifics of comparison. I just know Andy gives us our best chance to win this week. So we're going with Andy, and he'll get the lion's share of it. And I'm looking for great things from him.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.
No, thank you. Anyway, I'm not really feeling that. I'm not feeling a lot of what Dave had to say. I'm not feeling Dave. Matter of fact, you can get rid of that nigga right now. If y'all not gonna play Bryce, go ahead and let him go. Trade him. Get what you can get for him. Move on. Like, this plan is so retarded. And unless you're gonna say that Bryce just need a chance to reset and you're gonna bench him for a week or two. But other than that, I'm not with this plan. You want to keep private how much David Tepper had to do with this plan. That means David Tepper's idea. Anyway, I don't see any comments, but after the video, if you're watching this, hey, let me know your thoughts about this decision. Let me know if you feel like this is what's best for the team. I don't think it is. I don't agree with this plan. I don't think Andy Dalton does anything. Unless you're going to tell me that you think Andy Dalton going to come right now and win the division. Even if we're tanking, Andy Dalton doesn't help with that. Even if you want to say Bryce is so bad, the season is lost. Well, Andy Dalton's a free agent after this year. So are you going to re-sign 36-year-old Andy Dalton even if he plays magnificent? You're not. So this is stupid. So that's just my thoughts. Go ahead. Dave, set a team. Fire the other day before you go and trade Bryce if you're not going to play him. Anyway, this is your boy, Mr. T-Man 1993. As I'm dealing with my asshole of a Carolina Panthers team, franchise, and owner. The original Panthers fan podcast. Still keep pounding on my Panther Nation brothers and sisters. But these niggas is assholes. I'm out.